that we are talking about,
Live streaming is on.
all these daityas, the demons and all, they are symbolic of the negative energies all of us have within ourselves. So in the Upanishads, there is a Devasura Sangrama. The Devasura Sangrama is happening not outside, they are not real entities. There are two tendencies in all of us. In the, you know, Patanjali Yoga Sutras, when you read, there's a mention that the mind either moves towards a spiritual orientation or goes in a negative way. It cannot be still. So, how we move our minds is what decides. But there are moments where we are also in a state of stalemate. We don't make any progress. But if you don't make any progress, unknowingly, we would start regressing. You have to continuously do something which is positive. If we don't, we start declining. The Saptasandi, the Durga Shaptashati text, which is part of the Markandeya Purana, is hugely popular in different parts of the country. Devi is worshipped not only in the Hindu tradition, but also in a big way in the Buddhist tradition. And there are many parts of Europe, much before Christianity came. They had the idea of the Divine Mother. Even in the Maya civilization in South America, they had a concept of the primitive mother. Many ancient civilizations, you had some people, some anthropologists call it the fertility cults, because you want to procreate, you want to sustain, you want to protect your community. So you sort of give value to motherhood. Here, to cut the story short, to start early, the context, let me mention, of the Devi Bhagavatam. So it starts with, one king who has lost his kingdom, lost in the battle, he's lost his kingdom, and his wife is more loyal to the general than him. And then there is a businessman, and his children, his wife, they're extremely miserly and selfish. And both these people have lost interest in samsara, and they have gone into the jungle and they meet each other and they say hello to each other, two dejected men. They share with each other's problem. The Vaishya, he says that, look, these people are so cruel, and yet I cannot have cruelty towards them. The Raja also shares his story, and they land up in a hermitage where a great rishi is taking classes with his students. And they share their agonies, and then he tells all this happens in samsara because of this whole thing called Mahamaya, the Devi, which they are kind of trapped. Okay, and then he briefly mentions a few slokas. Tathapi mamatavarte mohagarte nipatitaha mahamaya prabhavena sansara sthitikarinaha. So all these people, I mean, the sansara is temporarily. Many of the relationships which we value, which we run after, escape us, and they sort of send us into a state of depression. And but we shouldn't get depressed, because there the rishi says jnaninam api chetangsi devi bhagavati hisa balad akrishya mohaya mahamaya prayachati. This particular devi, the mahamaya, this energy, this is both. If we are alert, if you are awake, if you are devoted, she is jnana rupa. If we are not alert, if you are lazy, if you are bimukha, you are away from her, she is avidyakari. She will force you into ignorance. Bhagavan also tells that in Bhagavad Gita. There is no difference in the message. There also Bhagavan says, as we see the Asuri Sampad and the Daivi Sampad in those chapters, that those who have Asuri nature, Bhagavan gives them a temptation. Somebody is miserly, he doesn't turn to God. God gives him more opportunities to have more and more cravings so that he can punish him. And if you are a little good, you have some aspirations to conquer your lower nature. God gives you opportunities to have more and more punya so that your antakarana is shuddha and you are more interested in jnana. What does it mean that God is doing both the things? Why should he do it? No, this is the nature of this whole process. This is the nature of these things. You are aware, you are one way. I mean, it's like if you look at the sun, you see the sun. If you look away, you look at your own shadow. You can get scared. It's up to us. So, jnaninam api chetangsi. Don't you have any delusions? Even the most wise, the mother, this energy, pulls him back. Balada akrishya mohaya mahamaya prayachati. So, vivekad vavirtya, he loses his sense of discrimination. Who, even the most wise, so what should you do? When the wise can be pulled away from their viveka. No, when they forget the secret. They have done a lot of sadhana, but they suddenly become a little ahankara. They suddenly have a lot of sense of importance about them. Then this prakriti will pull them down. Whatever strategy we have a bit of ego, prakriti pulls us down. And Mother is saying this, it's in the text. It's not being invented by any new age gurus, it's written here. And taya vishrujate vishram trailokyam sacharacharam saisa prasanna varadanirnam bhavati muktai. And then she is the one who creates everything. Prakriti creates everything because she's Bhagwan's Maya Sakti that we have studied in the Bhagavad Gita. And Vishwam, Trilokyam, Sacharacharam, Charam, Acharam, both. The Jadatmaka, the Chalanatmaka, everything, Characharam, Trilokyam. Sa esa prasanna varada. And then, there is a lot of interesting interpretations of it. Taya vishrujate. इसको जोड़ दो तया अविसृजित हो जाएगा. अब जब वो खुश हो जाती है अपने भक्तों के ऊपर, when you are aware of our presence, divine presence, you should read. I'll try to find out, or you can find out on Google, the PDF of a very short book. You can download it freely from the Sri Aurobindo Ashram website. It's only 20 pages. The Mother. You should read it during these 9 days. This is, to my mind, the shortest, simplest, and deepest translation of the central message of the Durga Shaptashati without a word of mention about Chandi. There's no mention. It's a highly philosophical yet very spiritual summarization. It's a gist of what is Devi. Very briefly, it's mentioned and how to sort of approach her, what it is, that Divine Mother. So I would encourage you to sort of have a look at it. The Mother. It's a wonderful book, very short. Saptasati is loaded. It's a lot of literature. And of course, it's also done for Upasana. But just read the book Mother, you'll get a lot of energy. Though it's in English, it's not in Sanskrit. So he's saying Taya Vishrujate Vishram Trailokyam Sacharasaram. And then if you do the sandhi differently, Taya Avishrujate. So never, Tyajati. She never does Tyaga. Of whom? The people who are turned to her. Sa esa prasanna varada. वो सृष्टि करती है, बंधकारक है, अज्ञान में ढकेल देती है. अगले स्वर में बताया बलाद आकृष्य मोहाय महामाया प्रयच्छति. Same Mahamaya, when we turn to her, she is a punishing mother, she is a loving mother. And then sa esa prasanna, she becomes very happy. Nidam bhavati muktaye, she gives us liberation. That's what he's mentioning. And then there is a beautiful thing in the verse number 44 in the first chapter. Sa vidya parama mukti hetu bhuta sanatani sansara bandha hetusha saiva sarveshwareshwari. Sa vidya parama, sa vidya aparama, avidya, sa vidya. There is a gap. You can also have a sandhi saying sa avidya aparama. Because you see, avidya or ignorance is without a beginning. We have discussed that in Bhagavad Gita, but it has an end. संसार दुखदायक तो है लेकिन चिरंतन नहीं है. यहाँ का सुख भी चिरंतन नहीं है, दुख भी चिरंतन नहीं है. So this avidya is aparama. We can overcome it through truth realization, through atma jnana. Then ajnana cannot do anything. That's what in Bhagavad Gita we are studying. So these are all continuity. That's why when Angshu proposed, let's do it, I said, yeah, this will deepen our understanding of Bhagavad Gita. Muktehe hetu bhuta sanatani. Just look at it. She just cause of both bandha and moksha. How can one be the cause of both? Depends on how you connect it. I mean, electricity, you can use it either to give yourself a shock or use the light, and you're using electricity now for our satsang, where the same electricity can destroy us. It's like that. There are these dual things are possible. Sansara bandheshu sya saiva sarveshwareshwari, and she is the cause of the sansara, our birth and death, because she pulls us when we are not oriented towards Ishvara, towards divinity, towards truth, towards the higher self. We are trapped. But if we are torn upwards, inwards, towards truth, and we are trying to please her, that's why Navaratri Puja is done. This is these 9 days of sadhana for self awakening, to remove your hardships, your problems, your depressions. It's the best time to meditate on the mother. So she's saying Sarveshwareshwari. Say if you have so many gods and goddesses, she's the boss of all of them. Okay? But I'm not getting into the details of the great commentaries which are available. Now, when he hears this is being mentioned about the Rishi. The Raja immediately asks, please tell me, sir, whatever Bhavan ka hi sa devi mahamaya iti yang bhavan braviti katham utpanna sa karmasya sakin vichaha. Please tell me, I mean, what are you talking about? Who is this mother? Tell me about it as a student. Okay, so he asked these questions. So Rishi is now responding that Nityeva sa jaganamurtis taya sarvam idam tatam. Bhagavan has said, Maya idam sarvam tatam is all vyapta by me, Lord Krishna. Mother is saying the same thing. There is another place where it is explained that Krishna and Kali are just two aspects of the same thing, same reality. They are both blue in color, and they are aspects of the same thing. That is explained at one point, it will come. Nitya eva sa jaganamurti. She's actually Nitya, eternal. And she pervades this whole universe, this cosmos. Tathapi, tat samutpattihi. In Bhagavan said same thing. That I am creating by my own Maya. I have taken this body. I'm Anadi Ananta. I have taken this form. Why? To protect Dharma in Bhagavad Gita. Here, why? Is explaining Tathapi Tat Samutpattihi Bahuda Sriyatam Mama. So there are different stories where the mother takes a form. And why should she take a form? That's explained. Devanam Karya Siddhyartham Avir Bhavati Sa Yada Utpanniti Tada Loke Sa Nityapi Abhidhiyate. Even though mother is actually eternal, लोग कहते हैं माँ का आविर्भाव हुआ. We invite mother in the Mahalaya. We do this Navaratris. So she takes a form. Was she not there? No, she just appears. Like the sansara appears, the mother appears, even though she is permanent, she is eternal. Devanam karya siddhyartham. Now by devata, you replace the word devata with making the possibility of spiritual evolution meaningful, effective, and all pervading. regression into the lower levels of consciousness is also widespread. And mother comes to elevate our consciousness. And Avir Bhavati Sa Yada. Why didn't she say all human beings and demons and all? No, she'll kill them and trouble the human beings, those who don't listen to the truth. She's talking about Devanankari Siddhe. And where are these Devatas? There are two ways to look at it. You can look at this whole Upakhyana in which they have been driven away from Swargaloka by different demons. And therefore they go to God and take refuge. And he says, and Durga is created. That chapter will come after this. First chapter is the Madhukaitava Baddha. So these demons are going to be vanquished by the Divine Mother. So you can look at this Upakhyana as if they're real. The other thing is, look at them as the internal aspects of our own consciousness. We need to invoke this supreme energy to vanquish the contradictory, countervailing forces which pull us down, create problems in society. It's the lower nature, the lower pull. And the mother is nothing other than the pure consciousness that we are invoking. This pure consciousness is again nothing but the energy of the supreme, the Brahman. And the mother is no different from it. It's Sanatani. So that is how in Loka, so she only appears. It's not that she wasn't there. And then what happens is Yoga Nidram Yada Vishnu Yagatyeka Nave Krite Astiriyam Sesamavajat Kalapanti Bhagavan Prabhu. We have already done the seventh chapter. And the eighth chapter, we have studied all that. You know that there are pralayas of different kinds. One is Nitya Pralaya, we go to sleep. Then there is a Kalpa, that you have this day and night of Brahma. Depending on day and night of Brahma, you have Srishti Kriyas happening here, right? And that we have also studied. Then there is something called the Mahapralaya, where even Brahmaji goes for a toss. Everything goes for a toss. All devatas go into the sleep mode. There is only Ishvara. Then he has his night. Then this Mahapralaya happens. And that's a big number. Okay. We've discussed all that. And then again the Srishti Prakriya starts. The Yoga Nidram Yada Vishnu, that particular thing, when Bhagavan is also in Yoga Nidra Vishnu, he'll do Palana. There's no Srishti what Palana. When the Mahapralaya happens, everything is Brahman. And he's saying it's also being done by you. Okay? Because supremacy of the mother is explained. Yoga Nidram Yada Vishnu Jagati Ekarnava Krite. Now this Jagat becomes like an ocean of causes, the sleep mode. That is the Karana Sagar as they call it in the Vaishnava Darshana. Astiriyam Sesam Avajat, and this making a bed of this Sesanaga, Bhagavan lies down, Bhagavan Prabhu. Okay. Utpatim pralayam chaiva bhutanamagatim gatim vetti vidyam avidyam cha savachyo bhagavan iti. Who is Bhagavan? There's a beautiful definition here. And it's the most popular. Utpatim cha pralayam cha. The all of us are birth and death. Bhutana magatim gatim. And jnana, agati and gati, both you can interpret as ignorance and knowledge. And then birth and death in the cycle as well as nirvana. Beti vidyam avidyam cha, this whole srishti, how the prapancha is created, how people also sort of overcome this. And the one who makes it possible, who knows in the sense who sort of, he's the karaka, he's behind it, that final truth. Savachyo Bhagavaniti. Okay? So he is the Lord of the universe. So these two guys, Tada Dvavasuro Gauro Vikyato Madhukaitavo, Vishnu Karna Maludbhutau, Hantum Brahmanamudito. Now look at it. It's a very symbolic sentence. So Lord Vishnu is lying on Sheshanaga, and then This ear walks, the karnamula, okay, malodbhuto, and that mala that walks, and they are created out of it, Madhva and Kaitava. Apparently, they were Jaya Vijaya, his Dwarapalas, but they got a curse and they were born as demons. That is the explanation. But there's another way of looking at it. Now, look here. What is Brahman? Brahma is actually that Nabhi Kamalastha or Vishnu is the creative power. So this is a traditional way of looking at it, but if you flip the whole storyline and meditate on it, you have another interpretation. Imagine your supreme consciousness, your spiritual consciousness is Lord Vishnu, who holds you, your sustaining power within yourself. But when you go into a sleep mode, your own walks, which is part of you, a certain part of your consciousness, becomes the cause of regression, and they become demons and they attack your own creativity. Brahmaji is born out of Lord Vishnu only. That's why it's so Navi Kamada. Brahmaji is there. And then असुर उनके कान के जो मैल है वहां से निकलते हैं. And he's attacking his own creativity. Something which is waste material in the system called Vishnu, the consciousness we have. Some insignificant waste material left unattended can attack our own creativity. You know, there's something to be aware of. Any small weakness that we have, if we don't keep cleaning it out, we have to keep cleaning it. If we overlook its presence, and we go on to sleep, we got to be very careful. Why we do satsang when we wake up? Because the old sanskaras and impressions and all kinds of negative, positive energies, they wake up when we sleep in the subconscious. They become active. Certain days you'll wake up and suddenly you have a strong, powerful pull to study, or you feel very spiritually alerted. Why it happens? Something happened during your sleep. One morning you had a very good sleep, you wake up, you don't feel like waking up, you want to sleep, you have laziness, you have other kinds of thoughts. Why that is happening? Because something happened in sleep. Certain sanskaras wake up when we sleep. Therefore, when you wake up, you have to again realign and sort of format and you check what is there in the cache, remove it, clean it, and reorient ourselves, open the files that are relevant to you. We start with the satsang. Take the name of the Lord, have a bit of pranayama, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever time you can afford. But that sets the tone for the whole day. That is the idea, to work with our consciousness in a positive manner. So you see these asuras, now they're attacking. Then Bhagavan Brahma is scared. What's going to happen to me? Lord Vishnu is in deep sleep. And who has put him to deep sleep? It's Mother, Divine Mother. So he starts worshipping Divine Mother. Why should we worship Divine Mother? Because Divine Mother is no different from Lord Krishna or Vishnu. They're the same thing. Brahman and his Sakti. Sakti and Saktiman are one thing. Ishvara and his Aishwarya, his Sakti, is one thing. So he's worshipping the mother. So Navi Kamale Vishnu Sthito Brahma Prajapati, he was sitting, that Navi Kamala, the lotus, emanating from his navel point. Drishtva Tavasaro Chogro Prasuptam cha Janardhanam. So, and he's looking at the Lord of the universe, Vishnuji so rahe, and then the asuras are going to attack, and then he starts worshipping Vishweshwarim Jagadhatrim Sthiti Sangharakarinim. She's the Lord of the universe. Jagadhatri is the mother. She helps us, sustains us. Sthiti Sangharakarinim gives us birth, holds us, and again destroys us. That is how it is. We come out of the cause, you go back to the cause. Cause is the mother, and also cause is our destroyer. Because we go back there. Nidram Bhagavatim Vishnoho Ratulam Tejasaha Prabhu. And he starts the puja, and that is what we will do first. Sloka Ucharan. You look at your the part I had sent you. Tvam Swaha Tvam Swadha Tvam Hi
त्वं स्वाहा त्वं स्वधा त्वं हि
त्वमपि
Vasatkara Shwaratmika
वषट्कार
स्वरात्मिका
स्वरात्मिका
Sudha Tvamakshare Nitye
सुधा त्वमक्षरे नित्ये
Tridha Matratmika Sthita.
नित्ये त्रिथा मात्रात्मिक स्थिता
Okay. If you have Saptasandi book, you can open it, and that will be easy for you to read. Otherwise, also you can, whatever I sent, you can open it. The format could be, because you are in WhatsApp, could be difficult for you to read. Tvam Swaha. Then we had done it in Bhagavad Gita. What is Swaha? What is Swadha? You are aware of it. When you say Swaha, you are actually doing Drabya Tyaga in the Homa Havanam for the deities, the gods and goddesses, Devatas. Agne Swaha, Indraya Swaha, Adityaya Swaha. These are, and this is the mantra, and then you Prakshepanam, that is Homa. Yaga is Devata Uddeshena, Drabya Tyaga. When you say Swadha, in Tarpanam it is done. Swadha is an offering to the Pitris. And Vasatkara, Vasat, iti Vasat, that mantra is Ucharanam in the Yajna, the Sarva Yajnatmika, Vasatkara. Shwara here means Shwarga. Atmika, Atma means Swabhava, Swarupa. So, Divine Mother is being addressed as what? Look here, Mother, I recognize whenever, like Bhagavan Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that whatever you offer to lots of Devis and Devatas, it comes to me. They give you the results as approved by me. Same truth is being elaborated here. Bhagavan was there mentioning Swadha, Swaha, everything. Here, the same thing is mentioned about Devi because she is no different from Lord Krishna. Same thing. Therefore, he's saying Tvam Swaha and Shiva Shakti. That is why the Vaishnava Shiva thing is very peculiar because there's a worship in Saundarya Lahari. Lord Shiva, who is the boss of this whole universe, cannot move an inch without your grace. I worship thee. Because that without the Shakti, the Shiva, Ikara is that Devi, Shiva. You remove the Ikara, it becomes Shava. Cannot do anything. Mother has to be there. You cannot do only Shiva Upasana. Shakti is always there. Shiva, the moment you say the word Shiva, Mother is there in that Ikara. That is the Maya Shakti. And then otherwise, no, nothing happens. So that is why you go to any place, there's a Lord Shiva temple, there'll be a Devi temple, and Ganesh will also be there because he sort of helps us start, removes the pratibandhakas, the obstacles. So, Tvam Swaha, so you are actually that Swarupa of the Devatas you are worshipping, you are present there. When we say Swaha, actually it's your grace that comes out. And also you are the Swadharupa. All the Pitris, we do this. Pitrupaka is just over. You are verily that. Vasatkara, Sarvajagyanatmika. And when you mention Sarvajagyanatmika, remember all that we studied in the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, all kinds of Jagyas, right? So even the whole process of consuming food and transforming that into energy, you are verily all of this. And so Sudha is what? Amrita. Um, some people also interpret this, and most likely, more correctly, you are actually the Amrita. You are ultimately moksha karana. You are the liberation we are all seeking. And Tvam akshare nitye. What is that nitya aksharam, the Omkara? Tridha matratmika sthita. You are tridhatmika. Now there is a lot of debate on it. What is this tridha matra? What are these three matras there? One is O, U, Ma, Om. Tridha matra. You are there. The Brahman is Akshara and Omkara is a symbolic representation of Brahman. And his Nitya. So he's saying Tum Akshare Nitye. Tridha matra tikmika stita. So you are in that permanent Brahman, you are there, you are in there. She's everywhere, that is already mentioned. So Akshara means Para Brahmani. That is what is mentioned in the Upanishad. Aksharam Brahma Param. Bhagavan is mentioned in the Gita. Okay? So you are, sometimes it's mentioned Sudha means Devatirtham. Sudha can also means moksha. There are different ways in which. So what is that Nitya Akritima Sattva Matra Sthiti? Why Bhagavan Sit Sakti or Maya Sakti, whatever you call it. That Maya Sakti is Sattva Pradhana. Rajasika Tamasika Mishrita is avidya. That is why in our Maya Sakti, that when it manifests at our level, it's called avidya. It has rajas and tamas. At the level of Ishvara, rajas and tamas absent, only sattva atmika. So that is he's saying nitya, that is why. And tridha matra, three prakar ka matra कैसे होते हैं? Harshva, dirgha, pluta in Sanskrit. Harshva, short sounds. Dirgha in English, diphthongs. Pluto we have one. So there is a swara, you have this harshva, dirgha, and pluta, an elongated way in grammar. And he is saying these three karas, om. When you say om, o, u, there is a pluta varna there. Om. And then the last one, ma, is a vyanjana varna. Vyanjana varnas are also ardha matras, because why? In Sanskrit they are written ka, 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 because ka means ka plus a, ka, a, ka. So swara varna is there. So actually Vyanjana varnas are ardha matras. You cannot do ucharanam without adding a swara varna. Right? So you have to have that vowel which is added to the consonant for it to be possible to make it, to pronounce it properly. That is what is mentioned here. Ardha matra sita. That's one way. The other way is O, O, Om. There is a Turiya Avastha. Turiya means fourth. What is that fourth state? That fourth state is not audible. It is just beyond what is mentioned through the sound vibrations. That can also be mentioned as Ardhamatra Sita Devi, because he is Brahma Swarupini. The Mandukya Upanishad deals with all this in the most beautiful manner. So she is that ultimate point. She is that Brahma Swarupini. She is that avastha where we approach that ultimate truth. Okay? Then the next verse, Ardha Matra Stita Nitya Yanucharya Visheshataha. Let's do Charanam. Ardha Matra Stita Nitya
अर्धमात्रा स्थिता
Arthamatra
नित्य
nitya
Yanucharya Visheshataha.
यानुचार्या
anucharya
विषयतः
visheshatah
Tvamiva Sangha Savitri.
त्वमेव
Viva
साधु
sanya savitri
सावित्री
Tvam Devi Janani Para.
Tvam devi janani
जननी परा
para
There is some Patha Veda. In some texts is mentioned Tvameva Sa Tvam Savitri. Tvam Devi Janani Para is mentioned in some texts as Tvam Deva Janani Para. You are the mother of all the gods. Or Tvam Devi, O Devi, you are the ultimate mother. Now you can mute yourselves. Ardha Matra Sita Nitya. That we have already mentioned. Akarasya Tatha ukara makarasya aksharatrayam. These are the three letters. Eta eva trayo matraha. These are the three matras. A, U, Ma. Sattva, Raja, Sama. Sattva, Rajasa, Tamashaha. So the A, U, Ma, we have also discussed that. So you have Jagrata, and you have Swapna and Susupti. And you have Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. The three energies there in Om, and then it is beyond. What is that beyond? Nirguna, Yogi Gamyacha, Ardhamatracha, Sanksthita. So she's just beyond that at Turiya Avastha. Okay? So she's Anucharya. Na Ucharya iti Anucharya. Can you pronounce the truth? Brahman is Avachya. Mother, Divine Mother's nature, her Swarupa, cannot be described in words. Anucharya. Vishesataha. Without any defining aspects, you cannot capture her. We are doing stuti for upasana, to meditate on her, because we need a prop to be able to grasp her greatness. We are meditating on it. But we cannot express it in the right way that this is what she is. Because as they say in the, I met a monk in Badrinath, very interesting guy. He said, what to study and all, it's all fine. ये भी कह दो तब खत्म हो जाता है वो ज्ञान. That is correct. If you mention even one word, this is Brahman, the moment you start saying this, it's gone, because you are already differentiating you and Brahman. The moment you say this is Brahman, no, Aham Brahmasmi, that's what the meditation, I am Atma, Brahman is all there, but beyond that, this is in sadhana kala, the Mahavakya. But ultimately, when we reach that state, in that state, nothing exists except that pure consciousness. Visheshata. Tvameva Satvam. Tvameva Sandhya Savitri, that Sandhya, Sandhika. Like, for example, the day and night, night and day. Sandhya Savitri. Savitri is the Chanda, that Savitri. And, you know, Savitri is identified with the early morning, the pinkish red color when Lord Sun comes out. If you look at the Gayatri Mantra, She Savitri in the morning, Gayatri in the morning, Savitri in the day, and Saraswati in the evening. So she is that brightness, Savitri. And then that is what is mentioning here. Why she's Janani Para, ultimate mother? Why? Because you see, the physical mothers, they give birth once, twice, thrice, and they also perish, we also perish. But the Divine Mother is the eternal mother of the whole universe. She is not a mother which, in her motherhood, is not episodic. Human motherhood is episodic. A girl, before she marries or before she has a child, she has the mother's instincts, the powers, the energies, they are all there. If she gets married, that fructifies. You see a girl who doesn't know anything, I have seen. Once they are mothers, their behavior changes. It's very biological. They may be very tired, they may be asleep, the baby cries, they wake up, they take care of the baby. All this very protective attitude towards the child. You look at, there are a lot of YouTube videos where there's this hen attacking a cobra to save her children. This is the power of motherhood. Look at the cat, how she sort of protects her kitten, moving them from place to place. They say cat has 7 lives because she keeps moving her children so that they are not attacked by any male cat. Now this is the para mother, ultimate mother, okay? And Savitri Tung Devi in that Sandhya thing is also sort of commented that Sandhyate aharatru va asyam sandhya. So this whole thing, that conjecture, that moment where one set of things move into another set of things, In the waves we studied about nodes, isn't it? So you have phases, you have nodes, you have troughs and crates like the waves, and they keep changing. So there's this sandhya point where there's a transformation. So you are shrestha para, and you're ultimately the sustainer of all of us. Let's do the next verse. त्वयैतद्धार्यते विश्वम्. Hello.
त्वयैतद्धारयते विश्वम्
त्वयैतत्सृज्यते जगत्.
त्वय्येतत्सृजते जगत्
त्वयैतत्पाल्यते देवी.
त्वय्येतत्पाल्यते पाल्यते देवी
त्वमच्यन्ते च सर्वदा.
त्वमत्यन्ते च
त्वमस्ति च
सर्वदा
सर्वदा
त्वया एतद् धार्यते. Now, there is also a Patha Veda, Tvayetat Dharyate Sarvam. It is there in some. These are Patha Vedas because they are handwritten texts, varies from place to place. Some people have written Vishwam, some people have written Sarvam. Tvaya Etad Dharyate. You are the one who sort of gives support to all this. Tvaya Etad Srijyate Jagat. So you need a platform for anything to happen. That is the Sad. Then the Prapancha appears. The Brahma is the Adhisthana. And then the Prapancha, right? The Maya Upahita Chaitanya, Ishvara creates the Sansara, but Ishvara, the Param Brahman, remains the foundation. So he's saying, you are the foundation, you hold us, you also create. You are that reality in which the Vishwa is getting created. So you existed before anything came into being, and you shall exist after everything have vanished. Tvaitat palyate devi, you also sustain, you nourish, you nurture us. And then tvamastyantai cha sarvada. And then in the end, you see, everything also sort of what? She eats us up. In what sense? Why should the mother kill us? No. We have to understand the mother here when we're talking about, we are not talking about a lady. We are not talking divine mother is not. We worship her. We dress her up as a physical mother. To feel that emotional warmth. But Divine Mother is not a physical entity. She's Chinmayi, she's pure consciousness. We have to understand that. So this she's the foundation, she creates the universe, she sustains it, and then she finishes it up. Sisti, Sthiti, Layakarini. That's what Bhagavan had said in Bhagavad Gita, and same thing Brahmaji is saying to Mataji. Because that is how everything has come into being and everything. So we'll do one more verse and then we'll carry forward onwards tomorrow. Visistau Stirupatvam
विशिष्टो सृष्टिरूपा त्वं
Titirupa cha palane
स्थितिरूपा च पालने
Taya Sangritirupante
तया संहृतिरूपान्ते
Jagatvasya Jaganamaye.
जगतोऽस्य जगन्मये
हे जगन्मये. अब ये जगन्मयी जो शब्द है उसके बहुत तरह से अर्थ किए गए हैं. जगन्मय, आनंदमय कोश, मनोमय कोश, mayat, prachuryaarth, full of this. That's what we're saying. Here, the meaning is different. Jaganmay is what? Just sambuddhi, Jaganmay, he site. So, Jaganmaya is one interpretation. Then Jaganmaya can be there. Jaganmayi, also Jaganmaya can be there. So, what is the Maya Gato? Gato मतलब ज्ञान अपराग. मयते जानाति मया जगन्मया. सो जगन्मया मतलब जो भाग प्रपंच को अच्छे तरह समझती है. क्यों? वही सृष्टि की है, वही पालन करती है. If she doesn't understand this whole samsara, how will she be the universal mother? So she knows what's going to happen where. That's what Bhagavan says the same thing in Bhagavad Gita. Now you know actually whether we are talking about Devi or Lord Krishna or Shiva. All three of them say the same thing in different texts. You open the Shiva Purana, same thing is mentioned. This is called henotheism. Henotheism is that we talk about particular divinities, but they are actually representative. They lead us to the ultimate truth, which is one unified truth, supreme, without name and form. When we are talking about it, we are so Vishtisto Srishti Rupacha. So during the Srishti Kala, you are the Srishti thing. And then your Sthiti Rupacha Palane, during the Palana, the sustenance period, you are the Sthiti, you are the, so you are Srishti Rupa, you are Sthiti Rupa. Then Sangriti Rupa, Sangriti Sanghara, the termination thing, so Laya Rupa, Ante Jagataha, Jagataha Asya. Of this Jagat, O Mother, you are the Srishti, Sthiti, and Laya Rupa. Everything is only you. Okay? He Jaganamayi. And then, so Jaganamayi, and then he's saying there also, because you sort of create this sansara, you hold this up, you sustain it, you nourish it, in it perishes, goes back to you. Because you are the cause, the effect returns to the causal form. You have a golden necklace, you smash it, it becomes gold again, goes back to the causal form. And similarly, you being the universal cause, we all return to you. So we'll stop here and we'll carry forward from the verse number 58 tomorrow. We'll do this and we'll also do Devi Atharva Sirsha. I'll also touch upon a couple of other prayers during the 9 days. Tomorrow we'll try to finish it so that we'll do the Devi Atharva Sirsha starting on the Chaturthi and we'll see how much you're going. So that if you have time, you can do another prayer from the Durga Shaptashati. Let's do the Santi Mantras. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय
नमादाय
पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते
पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते
ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ नमो भगवते
शान्तिः
वासुदेवाय सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु
स्वस्तिर्भवतु
सर्वेषां
सर्वेषां
स्वस्तिर्भवतु
शान्तिर्भवतु
सर्वेषां पूर्णं
सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु
सर्वेषां
भवतु
सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु
सर्वे
सर्वे
भवन्तु
सन्तु
सुखिनः
सुखिनः
सर्वे
सर्वे
सन्तु
सन्तु
निरामयाः
मया
सर्वे भद्राणि
सर्वे
पश्यन्तु
भद्राणि पश्यन्तु
मा
मा
कश्चित्
कश्चित् दुःखभाग्
भवेत्
असतो
अस्तु मा
मा
सद्गमय
सद्गं तं
तमस्तु मा ज्योतिर्गमय
ज्योतिर्गमय
मृत्योर्मा
मृत्युमामृतमय
ॐ
ॐ
शान्ति शान्तिः
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 शान्तिः शान्तिः
श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः
श्रीगुरुभ्यो
हरिः
नमः
ओम्
हरिः ओम् सत्
So have a very good day and do your prayers and we'll meet again tomorrow. Om.